If you're working 50 plus hours a week, but you're still stuck closing 3 to 4 loans a month, you are so close to breaking out and doubling and potentially tripling your production. And it's actually only a few minor tweaks that you're gonna have to make, and it starts with tracking. For example, you have to make sure you have a tight list of all the realtors that you're in a relationship with right now. And by tight, I mean that list has their birthdays, hobbies, production results, and a section that's completed that answers what exactly is important for them in their relationship with you. Secondly, you have to know how many potential and active referral partners you've talked to on the phone in a certain period of time. Or can you quickly pull up your leads from the last 12 months and see the status and the origin point or source of every single lead that you've generated? You probably don't have these numbers, and that's exactly what the problem is. I have a saying, no numbers, no business. No numbers, no business. I know this because I funded over $1 billion in mortgage loans in my personal production career, and I'm regarded by many now as the top modern loan officer coach in the world. And my mission is to help you and every single other loan officer that's willing to scale their business without burning out. But this video is not about hacks, and if you know me, I'm all about pragmatic, practical tactics that you can implement right away. What this video is about, it's about the 4 systems that the top 0.1% of all the LOs that I work with are using to consistently close 8 or more loans a month or 100 or more loans a year without compromising their personal time. It starts with the one thing you're probably undervaluing the most. Most loan officers think that if you're not closing 8 loans a month, that they have a lead generation problem. But I'm not fully convinced that's the root of the problem. Every loan officer says they're in the people business, but most of them have no system or processes to stay on top of their audience. They know a few agents by name, maybe a builder or two, and they believe that's a network, but it's not. It's just a static contact list at best. A real network means every time you close a loan, 3 more people hear about you. It means your name is mentioned in a group chat of top producing agents while you're out and about. People are opening doors for you behind closed doors. It means someone you've never met shows up in your email inbox or text messages saying, hey, Amir, so-and-so told me to talk to you. He said you're the best mortgage guy. If you don't know exactly who refers you, how often, and how recently you followed up with them, then you're running on assumptions. And no one builds a 100 loan per year business on assumptions or guesswork. But you're not alone. See, most loan officers couldn't name their top 5 referral sources from the past 90 days. They don't even know which agents are active, which ones are cold, or how many of those referrals actually turn into closings. I was that loan officer years ago. The loan officers that are struggling, see, they're trusting their income to conversations they think happened or maybe hope will happen again. They rely on memory, scattered spreadsheets, or assumptions, but you can't improve what you don't track. And if you don't keep track, you don't care. So, the actual thing that you need to track is your relationships first and foremost. You need to know that your referral network is your most leveraged asset. This network includes real estate agents, financial advisors, financial representatives, and that's why one of the most important tools that I used to help me fund $1 billion in loans was a relationship tracker. It helped me rank each referral partner based on deal volume, conversion rate, and engagement. It's the genesis of everything in your business. Track your relationships just like you track the loans in your pipeline. When you use a simple relationship tracker, you can easily figure out who referred you in the last year, how many of them actually closed, and when you last connected with them. Your main relationship tracker should only house real estate agents, with the second being other financial influencers like financial advisors, divorce attorneys, builders. And then the third relationship tracker should be your raving fan or Hall of Fame client list. These are people that have referred you one lead or have transacted with you more than 2 or 3 times. The goal is not to build thousands of random relationships. You have to be seen by thousands in your target audience, but you just need 50 warm ones and 10 strong ones. I call this your top 10 and focus 50. The focus 50 is actively referring you home buyers and homeowners on a regular basis, and the top 10 refer you to other real estate agents, for example. This hyper-focused group is in sync with you, and they're ambassadors for your business. And if you work that list right, each of them can send you 2 to 3 closings a year, and that group right there will get you 30 closings. That is what leverage looks like. Yes, you will kiss a lot of frogs en route to having your top 10 and focus 50. And yes, those relationships will evolve. But having a number to shoot for while staying genuine with all people you come in contact to reduces aimlessness, and it lessens your negative emotions and allows logic to take over to your approach with your business. But even with the strongest referral network in the world, there's still one thing where most loan officers unknowingly sabotage themselves. Most LOs think that just by working hard, which most are, but working hard and not working smart is a big pitfall. And as the great John D. Rockefeller once said, the man who works all day has no time to make money. When I first read that quote, it hit me so hard. Just like I did when I first started out, and many LOs I observed, putting in 50, sometimes 60, 70 hours a week. Their calendars are empty by not being properly time blocked. They feel really productive, but actually they're just being busy. Just because you're working 50 plus hours a week doesn't mean you're growing the business. It's about intentionality. That's the exact trap most loan officers who are stuck under 5 closings a month fall into. They confuse being busy with being productive. They cannot even go on a family trip or take time off because they're constantly in hustle mode. That was the guy I was for years, and I promise you, it doesn't have to be that way. Once you know better, you will do better. Let's try to understand this with a simple example. Imagine 2 LOs. Both work the same hours a week, but one wakes up every Monday morning knowing her exact 3 RGAs. Revenue generating activities for the week. She has them all time blocked, and she's clear on the quantity required to meet each of the big 3 regardless of whether fires pop up in our pipeline. The other LO just waltzes in on Monday, responds to what shows up in his inbox, text messages, and then throughout the day, every little distraction that comes up completely sidewalls him. Can you guess which one will actually go past 100 loans per year? You know the answer. But if you're unclear on those RGAs, revenue generating activities that are required of you, and the quantity of each one, and you're not tracking them, it won't matter how awesome your company is, how awesome your CRM is, how awesome your website is, how awesome you look, right? You will struggle, and you will continue to struggle, which leads me to the second most important tracker, the activity tracker. This activity tracker is something that holds you accountable for the daily behaviors that actually move your business forward. And it has single-handedly allowed me to make millions as a top 0.1% loan officer for years. And I don't have a college degree. In every business, there are 3 key performance indicators. One is outcome indicators, which in our industry is units and fundings. Second are lagging indicators, which in our industry are leads, pre-apps, contracts, and locks. And then lastly, third is our leading indicators, which are the marketing and sales activities required to get more leads, pre-apps, contracts, locks, and those outcome indicators, which are fundings. But see, the LOs that focus on the root, the activity, and not so much the fruit, those lagging and outcome indicators, they begin to take off. Start by breaking your week into what I call RGATs, revenue generating activity time. This is not tasks, but actual business growth activities. So what are some examples of this you might be thinking? The first of the 2 buckets between marketing and sales is marketing. This is the persuasion and promotional activities. 5 pieces of content that's posted every day, every single weekday on one social media platform. This content should be a mixture of educational, entertaining, and empowering content. Your target audience should feel that they can learn from you, are intrigued by you, and inspired by you. I talk about all this in another video on this channel, so you got to check that out. From there, we don't post and ghost. We got to get down with OPP, which is engaging in other people's posts. 50 people's posts a week, preferably the realtors in your scope, every single morning. It's engaging in the comments, liking, hearting, and sharing some of their posts. Then it's sliding up in the DMs and sending 3 or 15 no-ask DM conversation starters a week to hopefully be able to generate 1 appointment. See, you're responsible to promote yourself, and there's never been an easier time than now with the proliferation of social media and ChatGPT AI. From there, it's time for the second and most important bucket, sales. Send 5 personal voice notes a week, 50 voice-to-voice conversations a week, 3 to 5 in-person one-on-ones a week over a beverage or food. So when you execute and track those 7 simple marketing and sales activities a week that I just mentioned, no matter how good you are, you will never waste another week again. I promise you this. You don't need to be perfect every day. You just need to stay in motion and do the activities that matter. And through repetition, you will get better and better and better. Hopefully, it starts with quantity. If you miss a Tuesday, you pick back up on a Wednesday. But you got to do and track as you go. And if there's a day you don't feel like doing it, it's okay. Just don't have too many of those. It takes about a year to make an activity part of your identity. So now that you've built a tight relationship tracker that we talked about earlier, and you're really clear and consistent with your daily actions, you'll start to generate more and more leads because your visibility is going to beat your ability. And regardless of your skills, you being out there, out and about, online and offline, you're going to start to naturally drive more leads. You'll need the third sequential tracker in all this, which is the lead tracker. If you do not have a SPOE, S-P-O-E, which stands for a single point of entry for all your leads, you're running a sloppy business. Many LOs struggle with this. They have no central place to track their leads. Some get written down on a sticky note, some are logged in some complicated CRM, and some are handwritten on a notepad. And I will tell you this, one of my biggest regrets is not having some sort of system like this in place that kept a tight inventory of all their leads from day one. And I suggest that you keep an autonomous tracking system outside of your company's CRM because unfortunately, there's a high chance you probably won't be at the same company throughout your entire career. I'm not saying to take any sensitive information from one company to another, like social security numbers or income or asset documents, but the lead tracker I'm going to explain to you here houses simple data points. Every single lead that comes in should have the following recorded: the source, the referrer, the date, status, and outcome. So what's the source? This means the classification of the referral source. For example, RLTR stands for realtor, FA, financial advisor, past client, PC, friend, PF, personal friend. The referrer refers to the actual name of the referral source, such as John Doe. The entry date means the date the lead was received, obviously. The status means just that, like the actual status of the lead, like pending appointment or pre-approved. And lastly, is the outcome, which illustrates the ultimate outcome of where that lead ended up. That's how you start to get velocity in your business. So let's say you're generating 10 new leads a month. Without a unified and straightforward lead tracking system, you will 100% lose sight of some leads and certainly won't be able to scale past 5 loans a month. Secondly, you will have brain fog or brain fatigue, because your mind is storing up all these leads in your brain and you're trying to determine where all these leads are at, which will actually effectively slow down your daily activity. Thirdly, if you don't track your leads, as I described, you won't be able to understand your business better. In other words, you won't be able to pragmatically approach your lead generation activities and avenues to understand which sources are the best ones. It takes all the guesswork out. And lastly, I can promise you this. Most of the realtors you work with, for example, are not good at tracking their own leads either. And you'll earn their respect by showing how well organized and responsive and serious you are about converting their referrals. You'll then also be able to have data to be able to get insights under. You'll be able to track your lead to consultation ratios, your lead to pre-approval ratios, your lead to lock ratios, and of course, your lead to closing ratios. This is how you manage your business like a chief loan officer and not just a loan officer, with all the focused relationship tracking. If there's anything you take away from this video, is to track your leads, because building great habits at the onset. And listen, it's never too late. So with all the focused relationship tracking, activity tracking, and lead tracking, you'll start to gain more peace of mind and purpose in your business, which in itself is powerful. You'll start to generate and convert a higher volume of leads from the intentional activity you've been doing to have more locked loans in your pipeline. And this is where it gets dangerous, because if you're not tracking your pending transactions, aka your pipeline of active loans, like a top-notch air traffic control coordinator, you're going to be stressed out to the max, and you will be pulled away from doing the required activities that will result in roller coaster production months. So this last tracker is your pipeline tracker or closing tracker. This really important tracker should house the following data: the subject property address, borrowers' names and cell phone numbers, both agents' names and cell phone numbers, mortgage contingency date if applicable, closing date, purchase price, loan amount, lock date, appraisal order date, and received date. Any third-party docs ordered and received dates like HOI, title, condo questionnaire if applicable, and the actual CTC date. Now, unfortunately, I have found many mortgage companies have super lame pipeline management systems if they have anything in place in the first place. They force you to use the loan origination software as the pipeline tracker, or you go out and start a Trello or Monday.com board just to keep track. It's unreal. So for years, my team and I built out a shared Google Sheet to track and update our closing tracker. I would review it every single morning before I had a loan officer assistant, and I would also conduct a group Tuesday morning pipeline meeting with my loan processor to review that spreadsheet and then head off to calling every borrower, buyer agent, and listing agent with a quick yet succinct, informative verbal update that was on that spreadsheet. It also allowed me to ensure nothing important was being missed by the operations team. Now, when you have all four of these trackers humming together, the relationship tracker, activity tracker, lead tracker, and your closing tracker, your business will no longer run haphazardly. Just understanding what needs to be done and tracked will free your mind and energy to focus on what you're supposed to do as a loan officer, is to become a great people officer. This in itself will get you to 8+ loans a month and beyond. And at 8 loans a month in the mortgage business, or about 100 loans a year, you should get over $300,000 in gross income and no college degree needed. That's the beauty of it. So now that you know how the top 1% of all loan officers work smarter by tracking, you should hopefully have a bit of optimism now. But if you're still relying on memory and wondering why you're not getting to 8+ loans a month, it's not your work ethic that's the problem. It's just the lack of processes within systems. And that's why I've used this 4-tracker system inside Go Coaching that's being used to help thousands of loan officers have record months, month over month. It's the exact system that's helping our community members go from 4 to 8 loans a month, 8 to 16 loans a month, and so forth, while working less and scaling smarter. So if you want to install this into your business in the next 30 days, click the link below and book a no-pressure strategy call with my team. How to operate like a strong 6- and 7-figure a year LO. The time is now. Get organized, get structured, and let's win.